My name's Kip Polos. I'm the chairperson in Il Ngwesi Community Land, which has been in conservation and in tourism for the last almost 30 years. And we've been running a community-owned lodge which has 12 beds. And today marks another historical day on Il Ngwesi Community Conservancy, where we signed a lease of about 50 years for a new property. It has been a long journey and a tough one. The first lease was signed 7 years ago. It was challenged in courts, so we had to sit down around the tables again and renegotiate. Today we've negotiated, we've agreed with the investor on terms and conditions and benefits and all that comes with investment. And today we had a meeting of about 1,800 members, which is what is required by law to pass any such activity on community land. This investment will come with a lot of benefits for today and for the coming generations. It's a 50 years lease divided into three. We have the 20 years first, which after 20 years we'll have a sit around the table again and negotiate and see what hasn't happened, what has worked and what hasn't. And if we agree, then we carry on and add another 20 years. After that, if we are all in agreement again, it's going to go to 50 years. That's another 20 years 10 years will be added. And after that, then it will be over, and it will be upon the Il Ngwesi members to decide if they are going to run the show themselves or get another investor. We are expecting a 7-star lodge that will have 40 beds, and it's going to be unique in the country. The same company that we're dealing with has an investment in Kajiado, so Il Ngwesi will be the second one. And it comes with a lot of goodies. Of course, there are also other things that the community will have to let go for the interest of, for making the business prosper. The community, so I am not going to divide into everything, but I can give an example of 40 beds. If you have, in a month, you have people staying at the lodge throughout every night. A tourist would pay $50. That's a bed rate that goes to the community straight, and then there is conservation fee of $100, and then there is $30 that goes to the cultural village. It doesn't matter if the guest will go to the village or not. And well, just to round it up, the minimum amount of money that the investor would pay in a year is, even though we've done it in dollars, if I can try and convert it into Kenya shillings, it's going to be 144 million shillings per year, with an increment of 5% per annum. Il Ngwesi is a very unique place. It's very special, and that's why it has attracted such a big investment, because we've been doing conservation for so long, and it's run by the Maasai, who are really conservationists by nature. And it's a corridor, it's a migration route for elephants, and we have all the some of the endangered species like the gravy zebras that you wouldn't find anywhere else apart from northern Kenya. And the community itself is so dedicated into conservation. They've set aside 75% of their land into conservation. So I don't see why any investor wouldn't want to come. And I can actually tell you for free that we had 13 investors and we chose one. So that shows you the interest that is on the land. The agreement we're signing today is actually for 50 years with room of negotiation after every 20 years. And really, what we're signing is not afresh. We are signing the amendments that we had to put into the old lease. What we do in Il Ngwesi, first priority is our people. And I can tell you that, conservation, you cannot do conservation without people and land. So we give our members the first priority. as well as our culture. Our culture, we are Maasai and we are pastoralists, and we have livestock. So that is the first priority, and the investor is aware of that, and we put a lot of good measures that guards the rights of the Il Ngwesi members.
My name is Martin Olekamwaro. I'm an advocate. We came here today to witness the signing of the lease agreement between Il Ngwesi Community and investor in compliance with the Community Land Act, which stipulates that when an investor comes to invest in a community, that arrangement and relationship must be between the community and the investor himself. So today we have executed a deed of variation. There was an earlier deed lease, but today we came here to sign a variation because in the earlier lease some clauses were contentious, which led to some petitioners moving the court that the community was dissatisfied with certain provisions of the lease agreement. After serious consultations on an out-of-court engagement, we have been able to resolve those contentious issues. One of the contentious issues was the length of the term of the lease. The petitioners in the community were unhappy that the investor was given 50 years lease with an automatic renewal of another 50 years, which will have led to a century. We have been able to agree with the community and the investor to break the lease from the 100 years of 50-50 to 20 years. Then we can sit and renew again for another 20 years and another term of 10 years in the event that there is no breach on the provisions of the agreement. We have tentatively agreed also that in every period of 10 years, the parties will meet again to review emerging issues in legal law, the development, issues of inflation, or other matters that may arise between now and the expiry of 10 years. And therefore, this new variation has opened a window for parties to engage themselves again and review their relationship within 10 years. We have also been able to agree on the rent and the conservancy fee, bed rates, and those terms have been renewed or reviewed in this variation, which were not properly captured in the old lease. And therefore, the effect of this variation today is that the old lease is amended by a variation once this lease variation deed is registered. And therefore, it has given more impetus, defined relationships between persons. Those issues that were contentious in the old lease have been resolved or addressed in this variation that we have signed today. And therefore, the community is happy. We have taken them through this lease. Another issue that was contentious was the issue of public participation. We have done 7 meetings in all the regions of the community. And today is a culmination of the small consultative meetings and the public participation that we have been doing. And today we did a major one through a special annual general meeting of the community, and which has ratified the variation and the terms contained in this deed.
Kwa majina naitwa Paul Leshuel na mimi ni MCA ya Mukogodo East. Na leo tumekuwa na mkutano ya special AGM ya Il Ngwesi Community Land, ambaye agenda ilikuwa ni mambo ya lease, ambaye hii lease tumekuwa naye tangu 2019, lakini tumekuwa na issues kidogo ya content ya lease ambaye tumeweza kurekebisha, na leo nilikuwa siku ya kuja kuapprove yale yote tumerekebisha. Na umuhimu ya hii lease kufikia sasa leo ama kulingana na vile tumeamua leo, kwanza imecomply na sheria zote. One, the County Act ama Land Act inatuambia lazima uwe na group ranch constitution na constitution yetu inasema ukipeana lease lazima upeane na miaka 20. Kwa hivyo leo tumeweza kukubaliana na investor kwamba hii lease tutaenda na 20 years alafu 10 years ili iweze kuandamana pamoja na katiba yetu ambaye ni hiyo ndio inatuguide na mambo ya election na mambo ingine. Kitu ingine ya pili, tumekubaliana kwamba employment ama uajiri ya watu ya kwetu ambaye ikikuja wakati ya casuals hata wakati ya permanent iwe 100% apart from wakati kama tutakuwa na technical people ama watu ya skill hataweza kutoa nje, lakini kama hakuna watu wa kuajiri itakuwa inatoka kwetu. Another faida ingine kubwa ambayo tumeweza kuanalyze ama tumeweza kukubaliana ni mapato. Mapato tumeweza kuongeza ivike karibu milioni 140 the minimum ukiangalia kulingana na ile wakini wanakuja, kwa sababu tumeweza kucategorize the source of income kwamba itatoka kwa casual manyata, itatoka kwa bed night, itatoka kwa conservation, itatoka kwa rent ya mahali hiyo lease inalalia. Kwa hivyo tumekubaliana hiyo. Mahali msungu ambaye ama investor amechukua property ya eka 200, tumeweza kupea core area ambaye hata sisi ikifanyika nini hatutakaribia ya 1000 acres, ambaye hiyo ni mahali wanyama yake itakuwa ikikaa hapo, kwa sababu unajua area zingine bado tuko na activities ambayo tunafanya na community, lakini 1000 hatutaweza kukaribia. So akiongeza na ile core area ya lodge yetu, kwa sababu bado hata sisi tuko na lodge, itakuwa ni muhimu sana. Tumeweza vile kukubaliana beds ama capacity ya hiyo shamba yetu, na tumekubaliana kabisa capacity ya hiyo shamba yetu yote ikishikana na lodge yetu ni vitanda 58 beds. Kwa hivyo ukiangalia hiyo ndio imeweza kubeba ile shamba yetu ambayo ni 21,000 acres. Inamaanisha nini? Activity ya tourism itakuwa ikifanywa na ile beds tu peke yake. So hatutaweza kuweka mgeni nyingine hapo, kwa sababu tukiweka mgeni nyingine hapo magari itakuwa mingi, mahali ya kufanya activity ya tourism, na unajua tourism ni view, ni kuangalia wanyama, itakuwa ni vigumu. Kwa hivyo tumeweza kukubaliana hiyo. Kwa hivyo nikiangalia mimi katika hii lease ya leo nimeona mambo matatu. Nimeona miaka tumekuja 2020 ambaye watoto generation ikifika miaka 20 wanaweza kalia hiyo lease na waangalie kama economy iko aje, wanaweza angalia ni nani tunasikizana na huyu ama kuna mahali tunakosana, tunaweza kurudi kuangalia. Number 2, tumeweza vile kuangalia vitanda ile tumeongeza. Tulikuwa na vitanda 12 kwa lodge yetu, tumeongeza ikakuja 18. Kwa hivyo tumeweza vile kukubaliana hiyo. Income vile tumekubaliana. Kwa hivyo mimi nikiana employment tumekubaliana. Kwa hivyo nikiangalia hivi na nataka kushukuru investor kwamba hata kama baada ya sisi kuweza kupitana hapa na pale tumeweza kukubaliana leo. Tumekuwa na investor leo, tumekuwa na all stakeholders. All stakeholders means tuko na administration, tuko na land, tuko na county government. What is the role of the county government on this issue ya lease? According kulingana na sheria ama act ya community land, ni lazima registration ifanywe na lazima kuna approvals ya county government. Ina approve nini? Inaangalia mambo ya environment, inaangalia mambo ya compliance ya masheria, alafu county government ina approve. Kwa hivyo kulingana na vile tuko leo hapa tumeweza kucomply. Kwa hivyo process bado tutaingia sasa ya registration. Land registrar alikuwa hapa, atafuata hiyo process sasa ya registration. County government tuko na wakili ambaye ni Mwangi, ataanza sasa kuingilia mahali ya proof na nini, na mimi niko hapa nikiwakilisha county assembly ya Laikipia. Governor amenituma leo, ameconfirm kwamba the lease is okay, ameshikana na sisi na tumekubaliana. Kwa hivyo nikiangalia generally nimeona kwamba tumeweza kuingia kwa sheria zote zile siko ambaye hakuna mahali tutaweza kuwa na shida tena. Kwa hivyo mimi naona kama wale wataenda kuangalia view, mtaona hiyo view iko namna gani. Bado mahali hii msungu anakalia ama mahali lease inakalia ni ekari 200 peke yake ambaye property inakalia. na hiyo ekari 200 ameweza hata tumekondesha na ameweza tumekubaliana pesa. Jina akitumia jina yetu ya Ngwesi bado tumekubaliana ile hela kidogo atalipa, kwa sababu bila shaka atatumia jina, kwa sababu hiyo ndio jina atauza akiwa nje. Kwa hivyo atauza jina yake, atatumia hiyo jina yetu na tumeweza kukubaliana alipe kitu kidogo. Kwa hivyo mimi kama kiongozi ya hii watu na kulingana na population ya leo tumeweza kuwa na numbers, because the big challenge ya kupitisha lease ni quorum. Ni lazima tuwe na 2/3, na nikiangalia leo 2/3 ni ya idadi ya watu ambayo iko kwa register. Ni lazima tuwe na watu 1,600, na hata nyinyi mkiangalia pale ile viti ilikuwa pale leo viti peke yake ile tuliset pale ilikuwa viti 1,800 na unaona ilikuwa imejaa. So what that tell me, kabla hata sijaenda kuverify makaratasi, that tell me tumeweza kufikisha ile quorum. Kwa hivyo ninaona kama sheria sote tumecomply na sisi yote tumekubaliana, na najua sisi yote hakuna shida, tutakuwa na investor. Sasa step ya mwisho sasa tutaondoka hapa, tutaenda sasa kwa court, kwa sababu hii kesi imekuwa kwa kotini. So public participation tumemaliza, tumekuja AGM, tumesign in front of everybody. Sasa kutoka hapo tuende kwa kotini, sasa ndio waweze ku withdraw the case.
Thank you. My name is David Kibet Boyen. I'm the Deputy County Commissioner in charge of Laikipia North Sub-County. Today we also part, as the Sub-County Security Committee, we are also part of the witness to this memorable agreement between the Il Ngwesi Community Land and the investor. The agreement had stalled because there were some issues of disagreement which have since been resolved, and the management has even done community participation at the 7 or 8 zones. So everything has been now resolved, and it is now for the community land management to engage the investor to undertake its activities. I want to say that of late we have been having challenges of insecurity, because there's been a push by the illegal ladders from the neighboring sub-counties or the neighboring counties of Isiolo and Samburu. Majorly this has been because of the climate change induced situation, whereby the immigrant communities have been looking for pasture and water. But we have sat and we have agreed to engage all the stakeholders, especially the Laikipia Conservancies Association, to come up with regulations on how these immigrant communities or others can be dealt with or can be handled. Of course, the conservancies have an obligation to assist. Wherever there is drought, they assist. But now, these are armed groups which we really need to push them out of this county. That is the directive from the government. And we are working very, very hard together with the conservancies to ensure that they are removed. Secondly, now that we have this investment, it's one of the biggest investment, because we have been told by the management it's a 7-star lodge facility. And we are of course expecting that the project will start soon. So we will also work very hard with other stakeholders through a multi-agency approach, and especially with the county government, to ensure that we improve security. One of the steps that we have done is to ensure that we have vetted the NPRs to the surrounding community land management committees or conservancies to increase their capacity to provide security. We are also going to ensure that we get the support of the county government, especially in working with the livestock department, to ensure that livestock from the neighboring counties do not get their food into this county. And also, we believe as a Sub-County Security Committee that we have a mandate, we have a role to ensure that the life and property of every Kenyan, of all the investors, is safeguarded or is ensured. So that is our role, and we are not going to run from that role. We'll really get to the bottom of the problem, to understand why there is a lot of push from the neighboring herders coming into Laikipia. So that one, rest assured, we will ensure that security is enhanced.
Take it. Hizi place inaitwaje?
Mukogodo.
Hey.
Il Ngwesi.
Actually, Il Ngwesi Conservancy is a conservancy based at Laikipia North. It has got 7 neighborhoods, that's villages, and it has got like 8,000 registered members of the community conservancy. And the conservancy has started way back 1995. And also they have got a facility, a lodge that is running, and it's only the only lodge that is being managed and run by the local community, or the owners, basically the Il Ngwesi people. Therefore, Il Ngwesi elders decided to actually put aside some acreage of land for the community, basically for conservation, and then they with the goodwill of partners, they put up a facility which actually it's running now as the lodge, and we have clients coming in, so we are getting profit from the lodge, and the profit from the lodge goes back to the community in different forms, in terms of education, that is bursary, and in terms of health, water, and many other things that goes back to the community. And also the community has got a rangeland management that is undertaking, and sometimes we close the conservancy for restoration, and as well as sometimes we open it when it's a dry spell for the community to bring in their livestock and herd their livestock there during the dry seasons. And in wet seasons, actually the community take back their livestock to the settlement areas, and for the area that we are calling it conservation, we close it for a while for it to regain again, and that's how the plans are. We also now we also have the infestor that is coming in. We actually we are happy, and we know that also the profit that comes in from the infestor will go back direct to the community in all ways, to support the community in education, water projects, and many other things. Like we also have FGM. We are supporting FGM actually for the girls, and we also have we call it Day for Girls. Always we have that rally running each and every year for the young girls to get learned and all that. So basically that is a brief of Il Ngwesi Conservancy. We also have got a ranger camp with 20 armed rangers with the government firearms, and they undergo trainings by the Kenya Wildlife Service and the Kenya National Police. They are the ones to actually take care of the community, the livestock belonging to the community, the properties belonging to the community. Those guys are mandated to actually take the responsibility of guarding all those things. And I think that is how things are. We also, way back 2013, we started experiencing a bit of conflict between us and the people from Isiolo, that is Samburu, through grazing conflicts, and it has been there, although it has gone to almost maybe a low percentage, and we are trying always to actually mitigate that, because these guys are grazing forcibly with heavy arms. They are armed with rifles and all that, and they come to the community by force, and then they graze anyhow they want, and actually that brings an impact, a negative impact to our livestock, because we don't have any other place to take our livestock but just to take them around our conservancy through the grazing plan. So that is how things are. We are also neighboring with the Mukogodo forest, and also the actually the CFA or the CFA users, or the Mukogodo forest user groups are also people from Il Ngwesi, and they are also people who are benefiting from the forest, and also the bandits have taken chance to come and hide themselves in the forest. But the government are doing a good work. They are trying to actually, in all means, to mitigate the problem that is coming in. So maybe now when you come across an elephant or a buffalo, being a community member, you know many traditional ways where you can actually get rid of that elephant or get away from that elephant. For a buffalo, if actually a tree is very near, you can just run to that tree, then you climb that tree, and the buffalo will disappear. And if there's an outcrop or rock outcrop near you, or maybe a big rock next to you, you can just run to that rock, and then you get to a safer place. And for the case of an elephant, because elephants are like humans, and you know they are very clever, they pick the scent of a human being. And for those smoked elephants or elephants that can charge easily, you can get rid of them by getting away of where the wind is blowing. If the elephant is on your east and the wind is blowing on the east, so you change your position. The same case applies if the elephant is on your west. You try to change your position so that the wind will not blow straight to the elephant. And if you have an outcrop like a rock next to you, you just run to that point and you will be safe. Even if it's a ravine, if there is a ravine like a lager next to you, you can just jump on the other side and the elephant will not cross over to the other side.
Other types of animals.
Other types of animals. For the case of leopards are very shy. They are not easily. Actually, we don't have cases.
Shy?
Yeah, they are very shy. Very shy. They are very shy. When you get into close contact with a leopard, it will disappear. So maybe in times of conflict where you find them, the leopard coming for the goats, and that's at the time you will try to conflict with the leopard trying to steal one of your goats. So, but basically the leopards are very shy. They don't like eye contact with a person.
Wapi?